come together to encourage one another from God's word. I pray that you will hear him speak to you at a very personal level. This evening, I thought to just reflect briefly on the passage that we find in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3, a very familiar passage. Lamentations chapter 3, verse 22 and 23. And it reads, because of God's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. Many times we take this text and, we just run with it without always understanding the context. But actually, it's the context that makes it even more powerful and beautiful. And tonight, I'm going to make an argument from the lesser to the greater. Wow. And I just want you to hear me out. So the book of Lamentation is the children of Israel they've been captured. The city has been destroyed, and we know that this is because of what they had done, their disobedience. If you just read the book of Lamentations, just to sample from chapter 3, listen to what he says. I am a man who has seen affliction by the rod of the Lord's wrath. He has driven me away and made me walk in darkness rather than light. Indeed, he has turned his hand against me again and again all day long. He has made my skin and my flesh grow old. He has broken my bones. He has besieged me and surrounded me with bitterness and hardship. He has made me dwell in darkness like those long dead. He has called me in so I cannot escape. He has weighed me down with chains. Even when I call out or cry for help, he shuts out my prayer. He has barred my way with blocks of stones, and he has made my path crooked. Like a bear lying in wait, like a lion in hiding, he dragged me from the path, and he mangled me and left me without help. He drew his bow, and he made me the target of his arrows. He pierced my heart with arrows from his quiver. I became the laughingstock of my people, and they mock me in song all day long. He has filled me with bitter herbs and has given me gall to drink. He has broken my teeth with gravel, and he has trampled me in the dust. I have been deprived of peace. I have forgotten what prosperity is. And so I say, my splendor is gone, and all that I had hoped for from the Lord. I remember my affliction and my wandering and the bitterness and the gall. I well remember them, and my soul is downcast within. Is there anyone who can relate with this, who has been to that place, who has found themselves in a place where nothing is working, where everything seems to be against you, where you even feel like God himself, is doing a frontal attack on you? The children of Israel are there. And here the prophet is crying out, this is a lament. He's crying out to God. And so far, everything looks bleak. And let us remember that the children of Israel are in this place because of what they have done. And that's where my argument from the lesser to the greater comes, because there are times when we have done nothing. And I'm going to show you if God can do this for those who have done something.
Wow. Wow.
And so listen to the turning point here. He then says in verse 21, yet this I call to mind, and therefore I have hope. Because of God's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. You see, he had almost lost hope until he remembered, until he called to his remembrance who God is, and he remembered God's covenantal and steadfast love that will not let him go, that will continue to pursue him to the ends of the earth. And as he remembers the steadfast love, the covenant, it's not just a love, it's a covenantal love. And just to bring it to perspective, if you remember the story of David and Mephibosheth, when he asks, is there anyone from the house of of his friend that he had made a covenant with? He was bound because he had made a promise. And this is man, this is David. But can you imagine, God has made a covenant with you and me to love us, to pursue us to the ends of the earth with his love. And so when he recalls this, when he remembers, when he begins to understand the mercy of God, he says, hope begins to spring in his heart because he knows something about God. And when he calls that to remembrance, he begins to rejoice because he remembers that God's mercy, God's love is a steadfast and a covenantal love, and also that his mercy are new every morning. And it's just amazing to understand that God's mercies are new every morning. They when the day is up, the mercies for the day wind down. The clock resets itself, and so God doesn't do an upgrade. Sometimes you do a software upgrade and they put a few new things. No. God does a whole new thing for a new day, because you see, a new day comes with new challenges. Every time we face a day, there is no other day like that day. And so when a new day comes, here the writer remembers that God offers fresh mercies for the new day. And that's why remembering, I think Pastor Mkoromido, touched a little bit on this, Matthew chapter 6 and verse 34, where it says, sufficient for each day are the troubles of the day. And so we are told not to worry, because you see, God has supplied mercy for each day. And part of our problem is that when we are in the day, we are trying to go into tomorrow and into the next day where mercy has not been supplied. Your mercy has been supplied for today. God has cut that thing right, just where it needs to be. And so as you face each day, may you understand that God's mercy is cut to fit the day. And that's why we should go to sleep when we have planned, when we have done all we can. We must go to sleep, because the one who neither sleeps nor slumbers is taking care of business, and he has supplied fresh mercies for each day. My prayer for us this evening, maybe some of us are not feeling we may be going through challenges, not so much because of what we have done, but because we live on this earth. And if God could do that for the children of Israel, who rightly deserved judgment, oh, may we be encouraged today, no matter what we are going through, to know that we have a God who stands behind us, whose love is steadfast, and whose mercies are new every day. May God bless us tonight.